this. Yes. And yeah, let's kick off the meeting. Sushma, what do you think about my changes there? And also Chris is here. So I would say, what do you think it's not perfect there, or what should be beautiful or more beautiful there?
I did have a couple of questions regarding this. I wasn't sure why we need to create the temporary table that you have been creating.
What do you mean temporary table? Let me share my screen.
Okay, because I'm seeing that you're creating a temp table here for some reason.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. So actually, what I have here is what I found is Redis metrics source table here, the first one, and it's in row schema. I will use this from this issue. Let me check. Row, SAS user ping, and instance Redis metrics. Actually, this is the raw data we load from API. So this is the first step what we have. This is what I found actually. And initially, it was only JSON data type, only one column in this table. I enriched this with ping date, run ID, and uploaded that just for our sake to we can track back if something is wrong. Next step after that is to move to prep schema. This is also what I found, right? That is what I mean. SAS usage string instance Redis matrix, right? This is the second step.
Correct. Yep.
And the last step is prod legacy WK SAS user ping instance Redis matrix, like data has been calculated here. And what you notice in this table, initial motivation for this was duplicates in case you have more than one load per day. And I overcome and fix that because I use a qualifier of row count where it's only one. So I will pick up the latest one, which is okay, and no more duplicates here. So actually I have 3 steps. So row, prep, and prod. And actually I didn't invent anything here, just fix what we had before, like these 3 steps. First, second one, and the last one. When you said test table, what do you mean exactly?
No, not the test.
Sorry, temp, my bad.
So if you go to your changes, can you just go back to your MR? Yeah, go to changes. Yeah. So here in the first step, it looks like you're running a one-time SQL step, right? So I wasn't sure why we need to, kind of get that backup of the data, because anyways, it's a full, the data gets refreshed even if it's an incremental model on weekends. So I didn't know if you had to really take
this temp table. Yeah. You stick with this. Create my typo here. I created temp table just to put all data into the new structure and be sure everything will pass fine after we release the code. So this is not a big deal, I would say, just the way I clone something. And also, I know we do not store one-time SQLs in our repo just to not collect the garbage. So after you review this and say, okay, I'm happy, I will release this part, we'll delete this file, and it will be on prod live. And see, this is just a, let's say, one extra step to have a backup. And then I will create new table, insert the data from old table, and just keep a backup. And if everything is fine, I will drop it at the end. So during this juggling with data, I will just want to have backup, nothing more than that.
Okay, so you're saying it's just for validation then?
Yes, and also, exactly. And also inside this one-time file, once when everything is done, ready, prod, and data have been loaded, I have test cases for me just to prove everything is fine. I have 3 test cases for each stage. So you can recognize for each of this stage, I will have one test case. Okay, in DBT, I will run separately DBT test model, whatever, but this is just for my, let's say, double checking during my development. So actually, this SQL statement or SQL script is only one time. After you say, okay, I'm fine with the code, I will run this and delete it and move it from the Git. So that's the only reason I create a temp table.
Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand.
Yes,
And
because sorry, in the previous issue, I spoke with Ved and he suggested me to do it in that way because actually we don't have any, let's say, implicit command to execute any kind of SQL like DDL statements. Everything is usually automatically. But here, I extend the current structure, change. There is also one more reason. I changed the data type in raw data. Why? Because in Python code, if you want to load multiple columns table, you should use data frame loader instead of just push JSON. Initially, in the previous version, you will find that here in changes, in usage ping, we use it using open file, Redis sub or Snowflake stage load copy remove. And this means if you take a look into the source of this function, you will just simply upload one JSON into the table with one column. But here we want to have more than one column. So I switched to data frame uploader instead of Snowflake stage load copy remove. And you see it's data frame uploader. When it comes to that, there is also one restriction with data frame uploader. You should upload it as a variant, not as a JSON. So that's the main varchar instead of variant. So for that reason, I did this juggling with data and invent this script. Plus, I want to test everything.
okay, got it.
In order, because end of the story is, okay, I want to avoid duplicates, but during my investigation, I see a couple of problems. So I want to sort it out everything just to be sure we will not get back to this issue again and again, right? You know what I mean? And for that reason, I started here, optimize this. This is fine. Tested this in Airflow, also fine. Then I will stick with this model. So this is how we exclude duplicates here. And also I invent a couple of more columns. And the main question, what I asked you, what wasn't clear for me is about these two data types. Do we want to have timestamps or date or any other format?
Yeah, the first thing I think it should just be the timestamp just to match whatever we have in the source.
Yes, true. I checked the source table, you put it here. So let's take a look together. This is our table currently. After my changes, I want to do description. Chris, probably this is the most important thing for you because from here probably we'll do some transformation. Okay. And ping date is timestamp NTZ9. And in original table, ping date is also timestamp NTZ9. And when it comes to my table, again, recorded at is date. That is what you asked, request, right, Sushma, if I'm not wrong?
Right. You know, because if we have there as a timestamp, the recorded at, what is happening is it's capturing the time as well. And when
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
time, we can receive more than one ping a single day, right? And that's the reason why it was causing duplicates and we didn't want that. So I think it's okay to truncate it to date from timestamp.
That's perfectly fine. Let's see the results here. Ping date is timestamp, but usually it's always 000, like in your table. And recorded that is strictly date without time here. So I think it will be fine. And also, as a last step here, if I go to change and check use case to test data from my table, I have no duplicates. This was initial motivation what you and Rob explored and got. Yeah, so no any metric with duplicate data. And even here you will find metric path, ping date, and count. It's always one per day. So per metric per day, you will have always one value, right?
That's yeah. And do we know why we haven't included the definitions of this ping date and the new fields that we added in the schema file? Because I didn't see the definitions, the column definitions.
What do you mean exactly about ping date? What do you mean? Where to see definition in?
So usually in the schema file, you add the name of the column, you add any tests that are applicable, and you also add the description for each of the field, right?
In which file?
In the schema file.
Here.
But I didn't see that in here.
You mean under this column section to add the description, right?
Yes.
Or somewhere else?
Yes. No, under the columns, you have name, description, and tests, and of course, any tags that might be applicable.
Okay.
So I didn't see description for any of them. So is that how it is, or
That's
why you
true.
don't?
That's true. I should add it here. So I missed that part because I just followed the rules what we have before. Because usually you have description per table or per source, but can't find any description per column. But it's not a problem to add it here, right? So it will be like
Let's
this.
add. Yeah,
And
I know none of the models, none of the raw models, or none of the legacy models have description, and we have been facing a lot of issues with that. So maybe we should just go ahead and add that.
yeah, I think this is the best time to start, right?
Yeah,
So in that case,
can
I mean,
you.
I followed the rules as it was implemented before, but under this rule, there's no request to find any description on column level. Only what you should find is description per table level or per source level. But okay, fully agree with you. So to put description here, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and add descriptions. Yeah, for
Why
at
not?
least whatever because for ping date, we know what the description is. So, for the ones that we at least know, I think we should just go ahead and start adding descriptions, even if it's a legacy model or even if it's any other model. Let's do
Okay, I
that.
will check.
Right.
Okay, I will invent this description if it's possible, and probably it is. I should check documentation, but yeah, let's put it here. So for each column I have, I can put like name, description if it's applicable for me on this level, on this row level.
Right,
okay.
right. I pinged you a sample that is from one of the dimension, of course, but yeah, just take a look at that and see.
I will use the same pattern, but in row stage. It's also beneficial and for us and for you and for analytics, whatever, just to easily search through something. Okay, give me the sample.
I sent you the sample. So once you add that, what happens is it appears in the, excuse me, it appears in our DBT docs. So that way it's useful for us to see what the definition of the column is.
Yeah, it will be there. So make this complete anyway. So, okay, I got the point. So we'll add this. Anything else you want to highlight here?
No, that's all. I just wanted to understand why we are creating the timetable, because I wanted to tell you that we don't need to do that just in case, but you are just using it for testing purposes. So that's perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to move the data because you know what the problem is. You can't use alter table from variant to long varchar. It will be a problem. So for that reason, I put the data into one table, move data back as a different data type, varchar instead of variant, and everything is fine. So when I test everything without use this SQL statement for DDL and create temp table, it failed because you can't do that. Simply there is a restriction in Snowflake. And this is the way.
I'm just curious to understand why the alter data type didn't work in Snowflake, because once I used it and I thought it worked. So you're saying that the alter table, alter column didn't work, right? You weren't able to change the data type?
Let's find anyway, but
because I have to do that for one of my tables too. So I'm just curious to understand because now I have a variant data type that I need to convert to number. So if that doesn't work, then I might
no. This is a specific case where it doesn't work. For all other cases, usually it should work. This is a specific, like you have alter table, modify, let's say JSON data type to be, sorry, not JSON, actually it's a variant. Yeah. So to become column name, this is not Oracle, column name. With new data type, it is varchar 16 million something, and this will cause an error. Why? Because you can't use alter table modify column from variant to varchar something, but you can switch it from varchar to number, from number to date. Any combinations, but this is specifically not allowed in Snowflake, and you will get an error. You can check it and test it, but this is applicable only for from variant to varchar.
Interesting. Yeah, yes. I got it. Because I have to convert from variant to number, so I have to try and see how that works.
I mean, in the original description from this issue and this merge request is very simple. Okay, we want to avoid duplicates, but in order to get everything properly and in a good way, I found a couple of problems. So yeah, I want to sort out everything. Maybe the most efficient way is to split this in a couple of very, very small issues, one by one. But okay, anyway, it's not too big. I think it can be digested and done under one review. and one release. That's my opinion. I think not complicated, but yeah, I think you have the full context now, right?
Yes, I think this definitely makes sense to me. So let's get this pushed today or tomorrow, and then maybe we can kind of validate the data once it's deployed to production.
Yeah, my initial plan is I need to make this beautiful and add descriptions and everything, run one more test, run pipelines, and tomorrow, once when you're in the office in the morning, you will see everything ready, so you can do a review for this. I mean, you don't have privileges also to merge, but you can review. So that's it.
No, I don't have, yeah, I cannot merge. I don't have the right to merge. So we'll have to assign it to Paul. That's why I added Paul as the reviewer.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and make the changes, and then we can, kind of ask Paul also to kind of have another set of eyes to review, and then we can ask him to merge. And I will take a look at this tomorrow once I'm back, and then I will provide my approval too.
Yeah.
Is there any, are there any performance impacts from switching from Snowflake stage load copy remove to data frame uploader? I was just looking at the code behind that original one.
If you look at code of what Matthew and Paul told to me, it's a little bit slower, but actually what we received here is not too big JSON file. We can guarantee it will not be bigger than it is, because you have a definite set of metrics, 1000 metrics inside one JSON file. If it, let's say, we need to upload something bigger without known size and volume of the data, probably will not use this approach, definitely.
Yeah, because
I got the same concern as you, like, okay, what's happened? But this is a really definite, well-known structured JSON with 1000 things inside.
Okay.
Literally will not be bigger than a couple of megabytes. You know the drill. In case you need a previous issue, I dealt with something much bigger, and it was a problem, really. Yeah. It will be never ending. And also by default,
there's some logging and stuff as well in that Snowflake stage load copy remove. But we might not need it anywhere. But
this is small, and it will be small. Probably will not grow rapidly. And anyway, I have one long-term fixing solution in case we load something bigger than 16 megabytes in one JSON. So probably it will be kind of permanent solution, but it will come in a couple next months. So yeah, I shared your concern, but we'll be fine for now. We are safe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Anything? Yeah, thanks. Anything else, guys? Chris, Sushma?
No, I think I got all my doubts clear. Thank you so much, Radovan. Thanks for your work. This is awesome. So
thank you very much for clarification, because you know I'm still kind of onboarding, same as Chris. If I just reuse something already built, but it's not correct all the time, like it was the case with description on the column levels. Yeah, the better we start using something nice, better for us.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it takes time, I think it's important for us to get it all done and beautiful, as you're saying. So yes, that's